So you've probably heard the massive buzz around the Scapia Federal Credit Card, right? It's literally everywhere online right now. It's become this highly coveted tool for premium travel rewards. But here's the catch. What happens when you want all those amazing perks, but you just don't have the credit history to actually get approved? Well, that brings us to exactly what we're breaking down in today's explainer: the myth of the Scapia Secured card and the actual ultimate roadmap you need to unlock those premium travel benefits. Look, we know exactly why you're here. You want those premium travel benefits. You're after the zero Forex markups, you want that lounge access everyone keeps raving about, and you just want to be part of the whole Scapia ecosystem. But maybe you're dealing with a low credit score. Or maybe you have what's called a thin credit file, meaning you just haven't borrowed much money in the past. Because of that, you've probably been scouring the internet looking for a fixed deposit version, like a secured version of the Scapia card, just to get your foot in the door. Well, let's just rip the Band-Aid right off, okay? I've got to hit you with some hard truth right out of the gate. You can completely stop searching. The Scapia Secured credit card, yeah, it simply doesn't exist. Our deep dive into the public info from Federal Bank and Scapia confirms that there is absolutely no publicly known or dedicated FD-backed Scapia credit card right now. Basically, the Scapia card is issued strictly as an unsecured credit card, period. Section 1. The audience and the problem. Let's look at who exactly needs this route. We're talking about students, folks fresh into their very first jobs, freelancers with, variable income, homemakers, or honestly, anyone actively trying to rebuild a damaged credit profile. All of these groups share one major roadblock: low credit scores or incredibly thin credit files. And because standard bank approvals depend on strict underwriting, a solid bureau history, and a steady income profile, getting an unsecured card right now, it's practically impossible. Section 2. The pivot. Taking the FD-based approval route. So, what does this actually mean? Well, think of the FD-based route as your secret backdoor. It's a pathway where you use a fixed deposit-backed credit card to build absolute trust with the credit bureaus. See, by locking your funds in a fixed deposit, the bank takes on virtually zero risk. In return, they hand you a credit card with a limit tied directly to that deposit. You use it, you pay it off, and boom, you generate a positive repayment history. This isn't just about spending money. It is literally about manufacturing the exact eligibility criteria that those premium unsecured cards demand. Moving on to Section 3, top alternative secured cards. All right, based on current market data, here are the top FD-backed cards you absolutely should be looking at right now. We've got the IDFC First Wow, the secured version of one card, and the SBM Step-Up card. Now, I really need you to change your mindset about these specific cards. Do not, I repeat, do not look at them as consolation prizes just because you couldn't get a Scapia right away. You need to view them as mandatory level-up tools. They are stepping stones that banks offer specifically to get you to your ultimate goal. Section 4, your actual credit building strategy. Now listen up, because these credit building best practices, they are totally non-negotiable if you want that premium travel card eventually. First up, you have to keep your credit utilization below 30%. Meaning, if your limit is 10,000 rupees, never let your statement generate with a balance higher than 3,000 rupees. Second, pay your bills in full, not just the minimum due, the whole thing. Third, avoid late payments like the plague. Seriously, one late payment can set you back months. Fourth, don't go applying for a bunch of other loans or cards because excessive inquiries will absolutely tank your CIBIL score. And finally, patience. You've got to demonstrate this stable behavior for 6 to 12 months to build a rock-solid bureau history. Section 5. The travel card progression. This is the ultimate roadmap. Think of this whole thing as a 4-step staircase. Step 1. You grab that FD-backed card, like the WOW or one card we just talked about. Step 2. You build that credit history for 6 to 12 months using those strict rules we just covered. Step 3. As your score improves, you start upgrading to stronger intermediate travel cards. And finally, Step 4. You apply for the unsecured Scapia card once your credit profile is robust, shining, and you actually meet their internal eligibility criteria. Section 6. Comparing the options. To put this into perspective, think of a card like the IDFC First Wow as your key. It offers incredibly easy approval because it's backed by your FD, and it does all the heavy lifting of actually building your credit score. Scapia, on the flip side, is the treasure chest. It requires strict traditional credit approval, but the payoff? Massive travel rewards and full access to their entire ecosystem. So remember, the secured card is the key, Scapia is the treasure. Section 7. Weighing the risks and rewards of the FD route. Okay, let's honestly weigh the trade-offs here. On the plus side, the benefits are super clear. You get a significantly higher approval probability, immediate credit score creation, way lower risk of rejection, and it gives you much easier access to future premium cards. But hey, the limitations are real too. Your funds do remain locked up in a fixed deposit for months. The reward rates on these starter cards, yeah, they're generally going to be weaker, and you have to actively manage this because eventually you must migrate to an unsecured card to get your FD money back and start maximizing those perks. Basically, it's a temporary sacrifice for a really big long-term financial payoff.
And finally, Section 8, the final verdict.
So, here is the bottom line straight from the data. The Scapia Secured Card, it's a myth. It simply does not exist right now. But the practical approach to getting one is very, very real. Use a secured credit card to meticulously build your creditworthiness, prove your stable repayment behavior over several months, and then, once you are truly eligible, confidently apply for Scapia or whatever travel-focused unsecured card you have your eye on. That roadmap is officially yours for the taking. Sure, it takes discipline, it requires a little bit of locked-up capital for a while, and yeah, it definitely requires patience. But those premium, friction-free travel rewards, they are waiting for you at the very top of those stairs. So the only question left to ask yourself is, are you ready to actually build your way to Scapia? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, stay focused on that score, and I'll catch you in the next one.